I don't talk bad about businesses since I am in Paris part-time every month, every other month or so. I have to address this because mes amis, for the most part, come to me. I'm like the point of contact for all things Paris. And this is a question that I have avoided for quite some time. I have protected Air France for long enough. I have been a loyal customer for long enough. Just singing your praises, and enough is enough. Like, I'm so sick of it. I'm really, really so sick of feeling taken advantage of. I'm so sick of feeling that I am being preyed upon. This is a really difficult talk for me to have. Bonjour mes amis and bienvenue to one of my days of Vlogmas. C'est moi, Jessie, your resident francophile, and here on Cappuccinos and Consignment, I focus on lifestyle, travel, and finance. S'il vous plaît, take a moment to like, subscribe, and follow. Follow me over on Insta. I have a blogging on both Insta and TikTok. Simply search pour moi because I am not always on your feed. If this is your first time tuning in to one of my 25 days of vlogging, aka Vlogmas, it's just me taking time to connect avec mes amis a bit more. A lot of the days I have been spending replying to messages from mes amis and really raw videos where I do not edit much. I must say this because this could be your first time watching this. That's a really big deal pour moi because with my speech concerns, delays, whatever they are called, I do very, very long pauses to keep from stuttering. And that's something that I typically edit out, but this is raw. So typically don't have the tiny microphone, but because I lost my voice staying at a luxury hotel, singing my heart out in the tub, whenever I do get a bit of sniffles, my voice is the first thing to go. So s'il vous plaît, just bear with me with the audio. I'm still learning. I don't know how close or how far to hold this thing. I'm just praying to God that it's on because I just got back from Paris. And in one of my videos on the streets, à Paris, I was recording, crying my heart out, connecting, and it wasn't on. So I'm really stalling right now because I don't want to do this, but I just have to. So if you are new here, I don't do this. I don't talk bad about businesses. I just make a point not to. I grew up, whether you think it's right or wrong, I grew up in a family, an era, a space, a community where if you don't have anything nice to say, you just don't say anything at all. And since I am an avid francophile, since I am in Paris part-time every month, every other month or so, I have to address this because mes amis, for the most part, come to me. I'm like the point of contact for all things Paris. And this is a question that I have avoided for quite some time because I just couldn't in good faith say certain things. But my last experience in a conversation I had with a very, very valued and trusted person really just sealed the deal. Air France. Air France. I'm really hurt. Like, I'm really, really hurt. This is an airline that I have just put up on a pedestal for so long. There are times when I pay more to fly with them. There are times when I revamp my schedule to accommodate their flights. And the customer service has been absolutely horrible. And this has been years. I do not know vintage, I'm not editing that, vintage mes amis. You all may recall when my LV Piaggio got destroyed on a flight to Paris. I never told you all what airline that was. That was Air France. It was Air France. If you think anyone would respect Louis Vuitton, you would think it would be Air France. So pretty much I was forced to check in my luggage. And this is something that you are going to hear repeatedly. All of my LV luggage, they are all carry-on appropriate. None of the designer luggage, LV luggage, I should say, that I have are checkable. I don't even know if that's a word. Air France has been checking me, but it is not made to be checked on. They are all checked in. I'm not editing that. They are all carry on appropriate. I am always being forced to check in my luggage, and that's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous when that is what, when you have a bagage, a baggage that is supposed to be carry on appropriate, there is no reason why you are being forced to check it in. So during that trip, during that stay at Paris, my LV luggage was forced. I was forced to check it in. They did not, they told me I would just have to miss my flight. Like they could not, if I did not want to check in my luggage, this is what they told me. If I did not want to check in my luggage, I would have to get on the flight the next day. That just wasn't an option. I had meetings, I had things that needed to be done accordingly. So I checked my luggage in. When I arrived, the entire side of my luggage was ripped to shreds. I went to customer service when I landed and they told me it's just wear and tear. There's nothing we can do about it. That is absolutely unacceptable. When luggage is damaged on any airline, you have to assume responsibility for that. And I tell people, I've done videos with regards to designer luggage. Is it worth it? Things of that nature. That is one of the first things I tell people. You have to understand that no one is going to baby your luggage. No one cares that it's designer. Baggage handlers, unless they are moonlighting as a fashion designer, no one cares about that. But it's one thing to have dents, dings, scratches. It is another thing for your luggage to be ripped to shreds. You could see the inside of my luggage. That's how bad it was. That's unacceptable. That is not wear and tear. So that was a whole process. It took months and months for me to get that like back together. So I should also add, I'm just editing a vlog that posted yesterday, so I want to get that uploaded. I should also say, with Air France, I typically travel business class. My experience with business class Air France is totally different with economy. And I get it. You pay more, so the service is different. It should be different. I absolutely get it. But at no point should you mistreat customers. I don't care what class you're in. At no point should you mistreat your customers. And at no point should I feel that you are being a predator to your clients, your customers. And I don't care what class that is. I haven't always been able to fly business class. And in fact, my last return from Paris, I was in economy. And to see the way that you are talked to, the way you are treated, it is unacceptable. And I have had this happen on multiple occasions. I'm going to give you an example. So in yesterday's vlog, I shared that I was going to Target to restock on all of my beauty items because I was forced to throw away everything. Let me tell you how I believe that this is predatory. When you get to CDG, when you get to Charles de Gaulle, you go in, and I typically don't have checked luggage, but since I was doing personal shopping, I had a checked luggage. So typically I just go straight to the gate. I checked in, I had a big luggage that I checked in. I went to the counter, checked in my luggage, all was well. At no point did anyone say, let's weigh your carry-on, let's weigh your personal item. All they were concerned about was the checked luggage. This has happened time and time again. So my luggage is gone. I need you to follow this to understand where this is going. Check my luggage in, it's gone. It's up the conveyor belt, it's out of sight. When you leave there and you go through, this isn't security, this is a checkpoint. When you go to through the checkpoint where they just look at your passport to make sure you are a ticketed person, they're not just letting anyone in, not security, just the passport or ticket. They don't even look at your passport. That's how far away you are from security, that they don't even care about your country of origin or citizenship. They are just looking to make sure you have a ticket. At that point, there is always an Air France representative there who picks people out of the line to decide who has to have their luggage weighed. I saw on several occasions, the people that they picked out, who they chose to pick out of line. I am always one of those people. When I'm flying economy, I am always one of the people who gets chosen. I'm not editing that. I have an LV luggage and my personal item is an LV never full. I am always selected. So while I am in line waiting to get my luggage weighed, I'm looking at the luggage that everyone else has. There were people with Remova luggage. There were people with very, very high-end luggage. And I started to see this. Race, that's a whole other thing. We could get on that we can get into that in another video. But I started looking at price points. I'm still checking my video. Everybody who was pulled aside for a random weigh check appeared to have had means. So once I got in line at the weigh point, this isn't even security. They weighed each item. Well, they weighed my items in tandem. They did not weigh my carry-on luggage and then weighed my personal item. I had to put both items on the scale. It was over the size. So they slapped a label on my luggage and told me I had to go pay. This is why I say it's predatory. If this is something that they do, if weighing luggage is a part of the Air France policy, all luggage should be weighed when you are at the counter checking in. It should be weighed there, because at that point you have options. If your carry-on and personal items are too heavy, if you are at the counter before you give away your checked luggage, you have the opportunity to put things in your checked bag. My checked bag was essentially empty. It was all the pieces, my personal items. I tend to keep my clients, their items in my carry-on so it can be protected. Had the agent at the check stand at that place, had they weighed all my luggage there, if that was customary for Air France, every single person has to have their carry-on and personal item weighed. If that was the rules and regulations, you would have time to take items out of your personal item, out of your carry-on, and put them into your checked luggage. It is strategic. It is strategic that they have this unofficial weigh station after you have already put in your checked luggage. So here I am with my LV luggage. This is a new piece that I got. My Pigas, a dear mes amis, won it in a raffle. Here I am with my LV luggage that I am like, there's no way I'm letting, well, I can't say there's no way, because when I was in Paris avec the messy cousin who you all heard on the phone in the vlog yesterday at Target, when she and I were together, I flew economy because of her. Girl, they did the same thing. I was forced to check in my LV luggage, so that, she just didn't have an option. I would have stayed another day, but she did not have that option. So anyway, back to the story. I actually don't know where I got cut off, but it is extremely predatory the way they do things. This unofficial weigh station, why not weigh everything? Why not weigh everything at the counter when you are checking in your luggage? They don't do that because it's selective. It is selective. And the people at the agent, the people at the booth, at the counter, they don't know if you're going to be selected. So I got out of line. Okay, I remember where I was. They weighed my bags, and I'll insert a picture if I remember. They weighed my carry-on and my personal item. Inside of my personal item, I have my MacBook. I have my LV, like the big toiletry pouch, not that one. It's a real, am I missing a bag? I am, something's missing up there. Oh, my Damier, the Speedy, because I took that with me. I have my LV, the luggage laptop holder, which that's what I'm looking now. Like, wow, everything's missing. I have that, my toiletry pouch, all of my chargers, my different eyeglasses, sunglasses, just things that you put in your personal item. What am I going to throw away from there? Throw away my MacBook? Oh, I also had my brand new tripod, my travel tripod. So I got out of line and I told him, I took the sticker off. I said, I'm not checking this bag. No. So I went over to a very fancy trash can. This was one of the fanciest trash cans I have ever seen, which leads me to believe that the items that people are throwing away are being taken somewhere. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but I feel like all the things that are collected in this really nice trash can, it's not rubbish. It's being sold somewhere. I'm just going to put that out there. So I threw away my travel tripod. I threw away so much cream, facial creams, really nice things. I replaced it with Target stuff because I'm so traumatized. I don't want to have to throw things away again. Perfume, I threw away so much. I still was over the weight. So at this point, I'm like layering, putting things on. Like it's just horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And I wanted to share this experience with you all. If you are heading to Paris, I really would not recommend Air France at this point. I really wouldn't, because it's just sad. And it's really, really heartbreaking for me to say this, because I have worked so hard to build status with them, to be loyal to one airline, and really, really hoping that this would work. And again, I know there is a difference between the service that you receive when you are traveling business versus economy, but at no point should you mistreat your customers, and at no point should you be predatory. And I am not bending. So I'm not going to say I don't care what you all leave in the comments, but this is my opinion. This is my opinion as someone who travels to France, Paris in particular, all the freaking time. I see this even when I am in business class, even times when I'm first in premium, when I'm in those, I still see how manipulative, how selective, how predatory, like that's the only word I can think of, how predatory it is when they select who should have their luggage weighed, because it's not everyone. Not everyone. And I would understand that if every single person who came to the line to go straight into security, if every single person had to have their luggage weighed, I could understand that. But the fact that it's just up to whomever. And here's something more. When I went back over to the counter where I checked in my luggage, you have to go through, it's not even security. The gatekeepers to the desk. When 7 more minutes left on the vlog that's uploading, the Target one. When I went there, I told the woman, she said, "Oh, you're back, what's wrong?" And then she looked at my luggage and said, "They want you to check Louis?" I said, "Yes." They said that it was too heavy. She rolled her eyes and said, "Why did they select you? Did they no, her exact words was, "Oh, they just pulled you from the line." I said, "Yes, they did." And she just shook her head. So she took me over to the scale, and she was just like, can you do without this? Can you do away with this? Can you do? So she even knew that it was some total like crap. It was total crap. She said, "Well, maybe if you go over there and you tell them that you'll pay for Sky Priority, sometimes they let you do that." Sometimes. How is that determined? So everything at this point is just depending on how whomever feel about you, the way you look, the time of day it is. Everything is based off of emotion. This is one of the biggest airlines in the world, and that is why I say that it is very, very predatory. If you are heading, and I have a group trip planned. I have a group trip that I have been planning, and all of them as I meet in attendance, I wanted us to fly on Air France. That is not going to be the case at this point. Like, it's really not. Not everyone can afford to fly business class. And even if you do have the money, trust me, I have people who money, you hear me, beaucoup money, and they just refuse to fly rather business class. It's just not something that they care about. They're like, I don't care how I get there. I'm not flying business class. So it's not even about money. But if money is a concern, which at this point it's a concern for all of us truly, and if it's not, slide in my DMs. No, but not everyone can or will pay for business class, and your service you shouldn't be preyed upon if you cannot. So I'm really sad that I had to record this video. I mean, I didn't have to, that's a bit extreme, but I wanted to. At this point, I really, really wanted to record this video because I have protected Air France for long enough. I have been a loyal customer for long enough. I have been just singing your praises, and enough is enough. Like I'm so sick of it. I'm really, really so sick of feeling taken advantage of. I'm so sick of feeling that I am being preyed upon. I am so sick, and I've been talking to other flyers of a certain, you know what, we're not going to even go there. I'm not editing that. We're not going to even go there. So that's just my 2 cents about my experience with Air France. And even if you are in business, sometimes the customer service, if you have the attendants on board, they are lovely. I've never had a bad experience with the flight attendants, but yes, I have. Okay, let me just end here. That's just my experience, and yeah. So, happy holidays. Bon fleets. Until the next vlog. Ciao for now.